Welcome to Exchange Rates UK TV. It is the 8th of February 2022. Taking a look here at AVAX. AVAX remains inside this kind of rising wedge-ish. I don't know if you really want to consider that a rising wedge or not. It is over a long period of time, but despite that, I mean, it is respecting the upper trend line here. Hasn't really come down to test that lower trend line. Again, this is another example of a crypto that has an incomplete Ichimoku system. It is above the Kijun Sen, just slightly below the Tenkan Sen, but it is, looks like it wants to continue pressing higher. On the weekly chart, we're above the cloud, which is great. We're above the Kijun Sen, traded below it, came down to the was at the 382 fib retracement on the week of the 17th, traded below it, but then the week of the 24th, it moved above it for a close above there. And then last week's candle, it closed just below the Kijun Sen. And then, of course, this week we see it currently above that and recently testing the Tenkan Sen and even pushing above it at one point today. Where's it going from here? Well, it's kind of an iffy zone here because there's a Kumo twist coming up here that could really throw a wrench in things. However, still remains in a bull market in the RSI and the composite index. You know, that low that it hit was, I think that was an all-time low on the chart. Yeah, it hit a new all-time low in the composite index. And now it looks like it wants to press up above the fast-moving average. And if it maintains the slope, it'll move up above the slow-moving average. And that could generate a very large, explosive move higher beyond the current all-time highs that were just shy of that $150 level. So looking at the daily chart, though, I mean, yesterday's volume was pretty heavy. That was the largest trade, at least on Binance's data here. Yesterday's volume was the largest since December 21st. You have this bearish pennant that we broke down below, that AVAX dropped down below on the 19th, came down. This is the first retest of that break, and there's some pretty stiff selling pressure throughout the day. I mean, it at one point on, you look at this, it opened at 83, moved all the way up. It moved up 15.8% higher to 96, and then closed up just 3.74% for the day. That represents a 10.41% drop. Cardano did that, and so did some others. Is this a sign that it's going to collapse lower? Is it a warning sign that this rejection of this trend line means it's going to have some bearish continuation? Again, I don't think so, because the 3-week and the weekly really do support some continued movement higher here, and I think it's going to trick a lot of short sellers, and I could be way wrong with that, but it looks like, especially if AVAX returns back up inside this pattern here, that could be a substantial event. Definitely would deny a lot of any further bearish pressure. As far as entry zones, I think if you weren't long already, this is not an area I'd flirt with trying to figure out if it's going to go up or down. But even though I think it's going up, but I'd like to wait for some confirmation in the form of a ideal bullish Ichimoku breakout, which would involve AVAX closing above the cloud. That would also position the lagging span above the candlesticks and an open space, but that wouldn't happen until 104 or 105. So there's a little bit of a wait there. But despite that, we should be looking at, and again, if it continues to kind of trudge higher here, we just get this constant kind of slow march higher that could really put the pressure on short sellers and generate some major short squeeze that would see AVAX and the rest of the market spike up a lot higher. So that's what I see on AVAX. From all of us here at Exchange Rates UK TV, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.